Hey YouTube, it's me, Brianna. I'm the author of young adult horror novel Blood and Water, the YA urban fantasy novel Reflections, and the one-act play Touch, all of which are available for purchase on Amazon. Throughout the course of my writing life, I've received some great advice. I've also heard some stinkers. Today I'm sharing with you the top 10 worst pieces of writing advice I've ever received in hopes that I can help you avoid making some bad decisions in your writing careers. Number 1, write what you know. While I agree with this on the face, I don't think you should only write what you know, which is where this tip gets people in trouble. If most of us went around only writing what we experience firsthand in our day-to-day lives, we'd have some pretty boring books. I mean, most days I just wake up, go to work, and come home and watch Netflix like a normal person. I don't think anyone wants to read a whole novel where a protagonist just does that. Though there is something to be said for adding a degree of realism to your novel, that can be done through research or through talking with people in, say, your protagonist's career field and things of that nature. You don't only have to write things that you yourself have experienced. Number 2, don't revise, rewrite from scratch. Every time I hear this tip, it stresses me out. I feel like it is really inefficient and just a general huge waste of time if you take your first draft and you open a new Word doc and you just rewrite what you wrote the first round. I can't argue that the product is going to be better when you're finished, but I can argue that it's going to take up a lot of your time that could be spent, I don't know, maybe fixing the parts of your book that actually need fixing. The other problem with this step is that it pretty much starts you off at a line edit, which is not great. You're going to miss a bunch of structural issues that otherwise would be pretty easy to catch if you just revise your novel like a normal writer. Number 3, write your drafts longhand. In line with the last suggestion, I really don't think anyone needs to take the time to do this. Plus, some of us have chronic pain issues like me with my osteoarthritis in my hands, which makes physical writing almost impossible. We have computers for a reason. We have dictation software for a reason. Go ahead and use them. It's 2018. That's not to say if you write your first drafts longhand now, there's anything wrong with it. If it works for you, it works for you. But if it doesn't, don't beat yourself up over it because you feel like you're not a serious writer because of it. Number 4, don't read books in your genre. I've had this one recommended to me because I think the idea is that if you read books in the genre of your manuscript, you might accidentally end up plagiarizing. But that has literally never happened in the history of ever. If anything, reading in your genre really helps because it helps you learn what your readers' expectations for the book are going to be. So please, for the love of God, read books in your genre. Number 5, write what's popular. There is something to be said for writing to market, especially if you want to make a living from your books, but that doesn't mean you should only write what's popular just because it's popular. After all, if your heart isn't in what you're writing, it's going to show. If you're bored while writing, your audience is going to be bored while reading. Number 6, create suspense through confusion. As an author and a freelance editor, I have a lot of friends and clients who think that the best way to create suspense is to, say, open the book with dialogue from a speaker who is never identified, or leave names out, or other identifying details like that. The idea here being that it will cause the reader to ask a lot of questions, and therefore heighten the sense of mystery. In reality, all this does is piss your reader off and make them want to put the book down. If you want to create suspense, create it genuinely. Include the important details of your novel so that your readers don't get confused, get pissed off, or put the book down. Number 7, avoid using said as a dialogue tag. I feel like everyone has gone through a phase in their writing career where at least one person has told them that said is dead. What I mean by that is that I've had people tell me not to use said because it comes across as repetitive in a manuscript. This is ridiculous because said is the ideal dialogue tag. It's almost invisible to the reader and people often skip it when they read and don't even notice it's there. Please do not call attention to your dialogue tags by using a ton of adverbs or using weird words like ejaculated. Because trust me, if you use that dialogue tag, no one's going to be paying attention to what was said. Number 8, wait for inspiration to write. Everyone knows that if you want to be a writer and you want to write full time, you can't just write when the spirit moves you. You have to make it happen. But I'm not inspired to write right now. You know who doesn't give a shit? Me. You know who else doesn't give a shit? Your novel. And you know who else doesn't give a shit? Your readers. Also, how are you going to make progress on your books when you might only get inspired to write, say, 1 or 2 days a week? Short answer, you're not. Set up a routine so that you can train your brain to get the work done when you need to get it done, instead of just when your brain feels like it. Because writing a novel is really hard, and your brain might never feel like it. Number 9, only pursue traditional publishing. Again, there's nothing wrong with traditional publishing. I've said this before and I'll say it again. No publishing path is perfect for everyone, but I do see a lot of authors limiting themselves because they are only going after a traditional publishing deal instead of exploring other options like hybrid publishing or self-publishing. It used to be that self-publishing was viewed as lesser than and not the best option when it came to getting your work out there. Nowadays, it's simply not true, with a lot of self-published authors making well over a profit and living off that money and even doing it full-time. So if you've never considered self-publishing or hybrid publishing just because you thought you had to go traditional, I really urge you to give it a chance. Number 10. View other writers as your competition. Especially if you're self-publishing, other writers exist to help you. It's better to form a community with people like you in your genre, in your niche, in your little writing group, so you can encourage each other and push each other to achieve your goals. There's no reason to see other writers as your competition because different books appeal to different readers. For example, Jenna Moreci is awesome and she's a great writer, and if you haven't read her book, The Savior's Champion, you should do that. I'll go ahead and leave a link below so you can check it out. At the same time, some of Jenna Moreci's fans might not like my books, or some of my fans might not like Jenna's books. That doesn't say anything about me or Jenna. It just means that different people like different things. So, should I view Jenna as competition? No! Jenna's awesome, and she kicks ass. And if you're not subscribed to her channel, you should do that right now too. I'll also leave a link down there to that bad boy. You will be so much happier as a writer if you focus on building other people up and helping other people out rather than pushing them down and trying to get them out of your way. That's all the time I have for today. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe so that you'll be notified every Friday when I post a new video. Also, feel free to comment down below and let me know what the worst piece of writing advice you've ever received is. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next week. Bye!